Hello everyone, this is Introvert Shy Guy and welcome to my gameplay of Katawa Shoujo. So yeah, I got the game set up, I got set everything up and everything. Hopefully it's going correctly. I mean, I gave it a test and stuff, so I think it should be good. I'm just gonna put it on the systems setting for now because there's just some stuff I want to talk about, and the reason why I'm putting it on this one because if you don't press anything while it's on the menu, then the opening happens. So I wanted to say a few things that how I discovered this game. Basically, it was from Lost Pause. I've seen him play this game and it was like really nice and everything. So I was like, you know what, I want to play it and stuff. And of course, that was way back in 2015. I didn't see the whole game of it, and that's another thing is that I'm not really going into this game blind. I kind of know what happens and everything. Not the whole thing, but like I don't know, either about a quarter or maybe 50% of the game. Less than 50%, but it's a sizable amount. Either 25 or 40% of the game I've kind of seen through, but not a whole lot. So basically, it's not. Excuse me. It's not like Katawa Shoujo where I was kind of playing this game blind and stuff. This one, I know basically what happens because I used to watch gameplays, Let's Plays from Lost Pause way back in 2015. I do remember where I kind of stopped and left off, basically, but I'll tell you guys this once I get to that part. So basically, yeah, this game is not entirely new. I kind of know what happens, so therefore it's not there's nothing to spoil for me, I would say. So if I don't act kind of that shocked or surprised, that's basically why, because I've already seen this game and stuff. Now, of course, it's been over 5 years since I've seen this game and stuff, so there is some stuff that maybe might surprise me or something, but what I'm trying to say is it's not as a blind playthrough as before. So yeah, so I got everything set up. I'm gonna play about an hour. Audio-wise, I don't know how this is going to be. I mean, it sounds good, but there may be a few adjustments when I see the whole gameplay while I do some edits and stuff. And as you all know, this game does contain sexual content, so the sexual stuff will not be posted on YouTube, it'll be posted somewhere else. So yeah, anyway, today's July the 12th, so yeah, let's get started. Alright, so what happened, I kind of had to cut something out. When I pressed start, it kind of led me to that, and I wasn't really sure what this was, so I guess I just basically had to go out and start over the intro and stuff. Because, I mean, the reason why this kind of happened was because I had to test it out and, say that, did you play Princess Evangile before? And I said no, so it could give me the common route. But I guess when I press start, it just leads me to that. It doesn't lead me to the starting point. So I was supposed to press the common route, I would say. Okay, so basically I have to press this one, common route. So, okay. So as I was saying, now let's get started. Chapter 0, Cold Weather Rendezvous. As you know, it's Japanese voice acted, so obviously when the voice acting starts, I don't really read it. They just read it for me and stuff. But when it comes to the title cards and stuff, I'll basically read it out again, so that's how it's going to go. Woo. I breathed into my hands. It was cold. Damn, it's cold out here. The sun had set and it was so cold I had a hard time believing that school was starting soon. Also, another thing, I may have to adjust the volume setting and stuff on for my hearing. So if you ever see the volume level, I would say that was because of me. It won't happen that much, it just maybe at the beginning, but once I get the right volume setting, then it won't happen that much. So just a little something out there. Of course, the state of my wallet was probably affecting my perception of the weather, as was my lack of a place to go. Woo. This time I sighed. The full moon hung heavily over me. My name is Okanagi Masaya, and the cold I felt ran deep. Also Masaya, obviously because this game takes place him going to a Christian religious school. I don't know if there's some Christian symbolism in this game, but they named the character Messiah, the Messiah, like Jesus Christ. So I just thought it was pretty funny that they kind of made the main character a little reference to Jesus and stuff. I don't know how much Christmas symbolism is in this game. I know I've seen Lost Paws play it, but I haven't seen the whole thing, so I don't know if there's any symbolism. All I know is that the school that he goes to is a Christian, all-girls religious Christian school, even though it's in Japan. So that's why they named him Messiah, you know. So something like that. My story started the day before. I'm tired. As usual, I returned to my apartment after work. Even though I was home, there was nothing fun to do there but stare at my father's face. I was back in my hometown for the first time in a year. I thought about rounding up my friends for karaoke, but I don't think I could see them now. Besides, I was broke. The apartment we were in now didn't require a finder's fee or security deposit, but we had to pay the first 3 months' rent in advance. That had wiped out what little savings I had. But running away with nothing but the clothes on our backs definitely saved a lot of moving expenses. However, no matter how much you save, it costs money to start a new life. I had always been poor, but now I was on the verge of being penniless. I've only just started my job and I don't get paid until the 20th of next month. What was I going to do until then? My anxious thoughts swirled around in my head, but I forced myself to stop. It was pointless to focus on the negative. Fine, I'll just go to sleep. Possibly due to my numerous part-time jobs, I hadn't had any time to sleep lately. Even though one of my redeeming features had always been taking care of myself enough not to get sick. I mounted the old rusted stairs that felt like they would give way with every step. My old man and I were holed up in a room on the second floor. I'm home. I guess he's not here. Those mob guys must have been back. Dad spent most of his time lazing around the house or fleeing from loan sharks. Of course, I'd told him get a job a number of times. When I did, he'd give me this strange little smile and say,
ごめんね、マサヤ君。父さん、箸より重たいものを持ったことがないんだ。
He was really hopeless. I turned on the light. There was a scrap of paper in an envelope on the table. I checked the paper first. It was my old man's handwriting, written on dollar store memo paper.
生活に疲れました。父さんは旅に出ます。
Of course. I let out a sigh, then threw the note in the trash can. I put my hand onto my chest. Compared to the sadness I experienced when my mother left, all I could feel now was relief. I glanced around the room and noticed what few belongings my dad had were now gone. My old man really had left me. In any case, he had never contributed to our living expenses. Him being gone wasn't an issue. In fact, it might make things easier. What's this envelope? A farewell gift, huh? Oh, wait, sorry. A farewell gift, huh? But I don't think he's got any money. And if he did, he wouldn't give it to me. There were 2 sheets of paper inside the envelope. As I expected, it wasn't a farewell gift at all. There was something written on them. I wondered why he'd kept this separate from the memo, though.
ところで、父さんたちが抱えていた借金ですが。
We owe? I'm pretty sure those debts are all yours.
この機会に、マサヤ君に一本化しておきました。
Really? Jeez. Huh?
同封した紙は例の極悪組への証文です。マサヤ君が寝ている間に母印を押しておきました。てへ。
Wow, what a fucking asshole this guy.
マサヤ君、よく寝ていたな。きっとバイトの疲れが溜まっているんでしょうね。バイトなんかはそこそこにして体には気をつけるんだぞ。お前の父さんより。
Jeez, what a shitty father, this man. The next thing I knew, I had crumpled up the paper in my hand. I looked down at my thumb, so that's where the red stain had come from. That old bastard! 1 year ago, we left the town I had lived in all my life, Surugigayakoa. I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry. Our family life had been falling apart for as long as I could remember. All because my father was a deadbeat. My mother had given up on him long ago, but didn't want to leave him until I'd reached a certain point in my life. Then on the evening of my 10th birthday, she brought me to a park and said,
母さんね、お前が10歳になるまでは待とうと思っていたの。
For what?
離婚を。離婚の意味はわかるわね。
Yes.
10歳になればある程度の分別も身につくわ。母さん、マサヤには父さんと別れることも仕方のないことだと分かってほしかったの。こんなのは親の勝手な言い草に過ぎないんでしょうけれど。
I shook my head. Even as a child, I understood that my parents couldn't stay together anymore.
そう。ありがとう。マサヤは優しいわね。
In the cold light of the street lamps, it seemed she was smiling for the first time.
じゃあマサヤ、友達とお別れする時間もなくて申し訳ないけれど、早速家を出るわよ。
Right now?
ええ。父さんと話し合いなんかしたらきっと引き止められるに決まっている。そしてあの人のペースに巻き込まれてしまう。口のうまさに関しては天才的なんだから。母さんね、もう話し合いもしたくないの。離婚届に判をついて置いておくわ。行き先ももちろん知らせない。マサヤが大人になった時はたまには顔を合わせるのもいいでしょう。けれど当面はこれっきり。さあ行きましょう。荷物は少しずつまとめてあったの。あの人が帰らないうちに出ていくわよ。
I'm not going.
え？
My mother's eyes opened wide as she looked at me. To her, it was as if her son had started speaking an alien language. In my childish way, I explained to her that I felt like I couldn't just abandon my father. Mom would be fine on her own, but Dad wouldn't. That was the conclusion I had reached, which was why I couldn't go along with my mother. Oh. That's so unfortunate. So even though when he had the chance to leave with his mom, he decides to stay with his dad, and then his dad treats him like this. Wow. That's so unfortunate, man. But talk about him being very noble, I have to admit. Mother was upset, and in the end decided to cancel that day's flight. She spent some time trying to convince me, but in the end, she was the one who gave up.
わかったわ。
She left the house alone, promising to stay in contact with me. I could still clearly see the image of my mother walking off into the rainy night. In the end, my mom was right. I looked down at the crumpled paper in my hand. Now that I knew how the world worked, I realized Dad would have turned out this way whether I had been here or not. But what am I going to do about this? My thumbprint was on the loan. The interest rate was 30% every 10 days. 30%? A paper like this had no legal merit, but I doubt that logic was going to appease those two. My father's one redeeming feature was what my mother once called his genius way of talking around people. He managed to hold off even the most fearsome of loan sharks with the most laid-back manner possible. Until last year, we had somehow managed to keep up, but then the debts got too big and my old man broke under the pressure. And that's when we ran away. Damn, I should have just stayed in Surugigayakoa. Fuck it, sorry. Back then, a part of me still felt sorry for him. I had also just graduated from my old school. That sense of finality might have had some influence on my actions. I graduated, then fled to some unfamiliar land and enrolled in the school there. I had started to think that the loan sharks had given up and we'd made a clean break, when suddenly the local mafia came calling. How badly in debt did you get? I screamed at him, but my father just gave me that little smile and shook his head.
どうやら債権が渡ったようなんだよ。
My father's skill as a hustler had just made the situation even worse. Unable to get around his skilled way with words, the creditors had sold his loan to the mafia. And the force they used to collect our debt was on a completely different scale. My dad wheeled and dealed, but in the end, he only bought us a year. And now we had once again returned to Surugigako.
やっぱり生まれ故郷が一番だもんね。
I was mad about the short notice as usual, but I couldn't say I wasn't glad to be going back home. I had just finished my first year at school, so it was a good time to transfer. The problem was that since he never earned any money, the loan wasn't going to just disappear. This time I didn't even have a chance to catch my breath. A new creditor would come calling soon. That was the goons. Their efforts to collect were much more violent. I had known we couldn't keep up this life much longer, but still. I never thought it would end like this. I was finally ready to abandon my old man. In my heart, he was no longer my father. From now on, I would just call him the bastard. But even so, what was I going to do? In the past, if a loan shark or a mob guy approached me, I could point them at the bastard and that would be that. On the few occasions they gone after me, I could admit that the bastard had still helped me out. But now that he was gone, I had to deal with it on my own this time. Me, an average student, unlike him, I knew I couldn't talk my way out of it like he could. What do I do? I sunk down onto the worn-out tatami mat. I had to run away, but to where? I'd already spent all of my money on rent. I felt like all of my strength was leaving my body. Just then, there was a rapid knocking on the door. I felt my limp body tense up instantly. Whoa! I thought I could pretend I wasn't home, but the door was so thin they could easily break it down. Each kick caused the door to rattle. It really did look like it was about to break inward. I quickly moved to the back of the room, opened the closet door, and squeezed inside. Closing the door didn't block out much sound, but it cut off most of the light and left me in the dark. I couldn't ride this out by hiding in the closet. I stood up, leaned forward, and located the ceiling board above me. Excuse me. I lifted it up and set it aside. Ugh. Restraining the urge to cough from the dust, I pulled myself up above the ceiling. I heard the sound of the door breaking down just as I got the board back into place.
Huh?
There was a crawl space in the ceiling, and despite it being a tight fit, I managed to make it through. From there, I made it outside, climbed down the rain gutter, and ran off at full speed. Click text window. Why is it? Yeah, why is this window in this color? Purple windows. These purple windows indicative events taking place from the point of view of people other than Messiah. Oh, I see. So when it's like this is basically just me, the audience member, knowing their dialogue, but the main character doesn't know what they're saying. So it's like, you know, if they say this and the main character say, wait, I didn't know you say that, or act shocked, and that's actually a really good indicator, I have to admit, to make you know that this main character is in this room talking to this character or hearing this character, and when it's this color, the character is not in the same room or same area. Okay, so, wow, good to know. Nice. So, okay, I guess he wasn't, yeah, not at home. Alright, let's go.
押し入れにもいねえや。あのガキ、金もねえくせにどっかで遊んでいやがるのか。
おう、見ろ、清。
え？
あの野郎の書き置きが残ってる。
書き置き？
あの野郎ももうおしめえだな。借金の肩にてめえのガキを売る。あいつが売ったのはガキだけじゃねえ。てめえの魂まで売っちまったんだ。
そうっすね。